Great Debaters Contest is brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa. The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
From the authority in matters debates, this is the Great Debaters Contest, and I am Austin Nyumbok.
I am Mariam Bishar. Welcome to the show. We have a great debate in store for you between Gatimu Secondary and Magumu Boys. They are debating on a very sensitive subject, that of national security. Is military intervention against AL-SHABAAB justified? First proposer, you have 3 minutes.
My name is Stephen Goro from Gatimu Secondary School. I'm ready to propose the motion that goes, military intervention against Al-Shabaab is justified. On my point of view, first, I would like to say that Al-Shabaab is like a terrorist group or gang which is located in Somalia and is trying to capture Somalia. And intervention, on my point of view, also is a way of confronting them. Let me use Al-Shabaab. Confronting Al-Shabaab in a way of unthreatening them and allow them to see their self-destructive behavior and how it affects their behavior. That's my point of view on intervention. Also, justified is another term on the motion. Justified, I can only say, is in order or to accept the intervention in Somalia to attack the Al-Shabaab. And as we can see, the government is trying to create social relationship between Kenya and Somalia. And I'm proposing the motion because I'm seeing the government is trying to reinforce the relationship between Kenya and Somalia, as we see it's supplying its Kenya troops to AMISOM, which is the union created between African countries, among African countries, like between Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda, to fight against Al-Shabaab in Somalia. And thus, we thank the government, and we really propose and encourage them to supply many troops to Somalia so as to eradicate Al-Shabaab terrorism. And that few words, I have the introduction part, and I'd say thank you.
We'll hear from the opposition for your opening statements. You have 3 minutes.
A wise man once said, when you pray for rain, you need to deal with the mud too. And I strongly oppose the motion that states, military intervention against Al-Shabaab is justified. Intervention. This is the involvement of government in involving itself with affairs of other countries. Justified. It is a good reason which is acceptable. Al-Shabaab, this is the movement of youths striving who want to protect nationalist and relate affairs. On to my first point. Economic issue. Due to this intervention, the cost of operation is high. Thus, it is increasing the high living costs. Also, there is depreciating of the Kenyan shilling. Surely, why do we need to take the army in the border? We also have problems internally. On to my second point. Loss of lives. The military is being taken to intervene. Our fathers, the breadwinners, they want to curb Al-Shabaab. But what are we gaining? Yes, we are gaining. But when they go and kill the Al-Shabaab, at the same time, we are being attacked. The ratio is like 1:10. When we kill 2 or when we kill 1, they come and attack us. On to my third point. Diplomatic intervention. Instead of our army, our military going to intervene, why don't you take diplomats to Somali? Why? So that their government can be stabilized. We need the government to be stabilized to fight the Al-Shabaab on their own. So that they can come back to us, they protect us internally, and also to protect on the Kenya-Somali border. Ladies and gentlemen, a wise man said, don't give a man a fish, but teach him how to fish. Thank you.
We'll hear rebuttals now. Proposition, you have 3 minutes.
Mary Christine from Gatimu Mixed, ready to propose the motion that says military intervention against the Al-Shabaab is justified. Firstly, the government is not spending much to sustain the army since the money is refunded by AMISOM Union, which is composed of 3 countries, that is Kenya, Rwanda, and Uganda. How is this? We cannot really claim that we are losing a lot of money since it is their mission is supported by 3 good countries, which is able to support and maintain them in Somalia. Secondly, when they withdraw, they will create a good haven for Al-Shabaab to retreat. How is this? When we allow the KDF to come back to Kenya, it means that we have given the Al-Shabaab an opportunity. And this, they will make the Al-Shabaab to retreat their territories and try to revenge, which is not suitable for our country. Thirdly, we will be seen as losers and cowardice. How is this? Any pull out of the force under the AMISOM arrangement would mean a weakened approach with the dealing of Al-Shabaab. Fourthly, by the KDF being in Somalia helps in promoting peace and harmony in both Somalia and Kenya. How is this? Look at our exchange rates. When they come, it means that Al-Shabaab will reunite, try to revenge. This will affect our contact with our countries. It will also affect our trade between our country and other countries. So, by the KDF being in Somalia, it will help in promoting peace and harmony in both Kenya and other countries. Thank you.
Opposition, we'll hear from you now. You have 3 minutes as well.
Before I start speaking about the motion, I'd like to tell my dear opponents that there's no bad relation between Kenya and Somalia. The bad relation is between Kenya and the Al-Shabaab. And you said unity is strength. Yeah, unity is strength. But is sending the KDF the only way we have to show that we are together with Somalia in fighting against the Al-Shabaab? We could use diplomats. They can go there and give them advice on how to strengthen their army, how to curb Al-Shabaab's ways of manipulating people. And we had points. My fellow student talked about loss of lives. We've got lots of KDF, but right now the number is not yet known. We got KDF soldiers who just died recently trying to fight the Al-Shabaab. The more we go after them, it's the more they come after us. We go as predators, but right now we are the prey. So I'll urge the military to stop intervening with the Al-Shabaab because it's like they want a revenge on whatever we do. We kill one of their own, they come kill 3 of our own. We've got many cases of dead students, people, great people with visions, like the incident that happened in Garissa University in the 2nd of April 2015. 147 dreams are now 6 feet underground. All that, maybe that could be an architect, a governor,
a president, but right now, he's nowhere to be found. We need to think of that. We need to think of that family that lost a breadwinner. We need to think of that parent that lost a son. We need to think of that son who lost a father. That's all I urge you to think about before you take sides with the motion. Thank you.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register. The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register.
Thank you, audience, for those questions. The proposers have been asked if KDF were to withdraw from Somalia, would that not encourage the AL-SHABAAB to cease their attacks in Kenya? And the opposition have been asked basically the opposite of the questions. If KDF were to withdraw from Somalia, would we not see more terrorist attacks in Kenya? We'll have them respond. Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes.
Kakson Kadogo, that is from Gatimu Secondary School. And I want to answer a question related to the issue of the retreatment of those particular Al-Shabaab who are in the country of Somalia. Here is the answer. We come to see that these particular military officers who again came to be in a point of taking that particular chance to intervene between the two countries, that is Somalia and also the country of Kenya. When you say that this particular Al-Shabaab will get to retreat, this is how it goes. That I'm very sure also when you are in your homestead, I'm very sure that maybe let us say it is the girls or else the boys. And maybe it is the boys when your father is out. I'm very sure that you get the space or else the room to express what you want or else to act as per your will. That's the same thing that goes to this particular Al-Shabaab. That when I know that someone is not close to me, and this particular person is going against what I want, or else is restricting some of the things that I'm sure that I should accomplish, you are free at that particular moment. And when you say that this particular Al-Shabaab will retreat, this means that when this particular KDF, or else the Amazon is away, they will get to join up their groups. They will get to identify the particular weaknesses that they have experienced at that particular time. The KDF or else the Amazon have been with them or else invaded them in that particular country. Also, I would like to emphasize on the point that it is really, really important that these particular military officers should be in that particular country of Somalia or else to keep that particular peace. This is an issue of security. That's my first point. That I'm very sure that when your neighbor is not in peace, you are not in peace. How is this? Maybe let us say it is a thief who gets to break into his neighbor's house. I'm very sure that you will get concerned because you never know whether it is your tomorrow or else your next day that you'll be in that particular occasion, whereby the same particular thief will come to your house, break in, and get the important thing that you have. Also, another point that I would like to say that this particular issue of this particular terrorist invading Kenya is not yet the first. An evidence is clearly shown that back in the year 1998, the same thing happened. Thank you very much. And of course, I would like to encourage you that we may support this particular motion that the Kenya or else the military force really required to be in that particular country so as to intervene on the peace of the both countries and worldwide. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
I am going to answer the question that was posed to the opposers. But first, a saying. They say, I would rather die on my feet than live on my knees. But this is a country. These are not just a person's knees. There are thousands of people in Kenya. So, what I'm saying, we should bring back the military to protect us from within. The Al-Shabaab have gone as far as being in the center of Kenya. We should bring back the military so that they can flush them out. Instead of fighting a war we have nothing to do with. All the trouble in Kenya started after 2011 when we sent our military to go and attack Al-Shabaab. We should pull them out and protect our borders. You cannot go to put out another man's fire in his house while there are sparks of flame in your own. So, if I've already answered the question, I'll go to another point. The loss of lives. Think about it. Westgate, Garissa, Mandera, everywhere, bloodshed is all over this country. All because we attacked the hornet's nest. What we should do, we should pull them back and stop killing their Al-Shabaab militants and come back and protect our own citizens. We salute the men and women who go there to fight on our behalf. But do you think of the families they leave behind? All those innocent people who die because we kill Al-Shabaab militants. If this is Al-Shabaab is an African affair, so why is Kenya the main aim of attack? Why are we getting most of the consequences? We should not. Let's protect our own borders first. Let us bring back our soldiers and protect ourselves first. And also, since 2011, there's been a rise in political instability in Kenya because of the constant blame game. Soldiers are killed. We have one party telling the other party, it's your fault. You are doing nothing. You are sleeping on the job. There is political division amongst ourselves. So, retreating from the Al-Shabaab points is actually the best decision Kenya will ever make. Thank you.
Closing statements now. Proposition, you have a minute.
I would like to comment. You've been emphasizing that there have been loss of lives. I want to tell you that it's not the first time that Kenya have had terror attacks. So it cannot act as an excuse as to why they should withdraw, since few die and more are saved. For instance, in Garissa attack, how many were saved? Only 147 died. The rest were saved. So that should not serve as an excuse. As I conclude, putting out would mean we would be giving the terrorists time to declare victory, regroup, and establish a launching pad for further attacks. To me, this is the time operations should be intensified because Al-Shabaab has been weakened and loaned out of their bases. Thank you.
Opposition, you have a minute as well.
It really pains me to hear my fellow opponents saying that only 147 died. So are we saying that those 147 were meaningless lives? Those were people who are going to build Kenya's economy, make a future for us. So it pains me very much to hear you say that. What Kenya should do is unite these countries to send diplomats into Somalia because, as we all know, most of Al-Shabaab terrorists are there. We should help Somalia gain political stability so that they can improve their military, so that they themselves can flush Al-Shabaab out of these territories. Let's not give them fish. Let's teach them how to fish. Let's help them to get Al-Shabaab out of their territories. Thank you.
Magumu boys. Very quickly, Dennis, you're a good speaker as a good start, but I would want you to have that in mind, okay? I love the points of cost implications and the rest of the things, but just start, work on that, okay? John, good cross-examination. You came and asked them very hard questions, which was quite good, and good examples as well. I think I really felt you in the team. Benjamin, fairly good as well. However, when you say some straight statements like, all the trouble started when we sent the military, no, there was a reason why it was sent at first, okay? There was already some trouble. And so it was an aspect of trying to prevent more trouble happening, okay? So don't just generalize and say that all the trouble started when we just sent that.
Maybe you need to touch up, so to speak, your language. We make a lot of grammatical mistakes. But I think you raised 2-3 things that I liked. One is that there is aspect of restoration of peace, and then the final comment that you made, we need to intensify operations at the moment in order to weaken their bases and to weaken them completely. I thought that was an icing on the cake when you're making your final submission. However, you are reading it from your notes. That means that you did not master it. It's something that was written and you've come to submit it to your listeners. Now, a good debater is one who understands the topic. When it comes to executing, it's coming from your mind, and that's when passion will come in. But if you're just picking everything from your notes, then it means that you have not yet identified with what you're presenting. So I'll really encourage you. You're the best, in fact, in the team, if you ask me, or fairly good from the team, at least some logical case built, but you need to work on your style and you need to work on your language. Gadogo, it was a fair presentation. I believe, again, the aspect of style still comes in. You can do something to better your style.
The scores are as follows. Gatimu Secondary, the judges awarded you 57%. Please give them a round of applause. Magumu Boys High School, the judges awarded you 62%, making you the winners of this debate.
Congratulations to the two teams on stage. We thank you, our audience, for your attention and urge you to follow us on social media at Great Debaters EA. Same to you, our viewers back home, and always tune in for some fun debate. I'm Austin Nyambok.
And I am Mariam Bashar. Thank you for watching.
The Great Debaters Contest 2016 registration is now open. Teachers or school administrations should register on www.greatdebaterscontest.com/register. The Great Debaters Contest was brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.